Oh no. Oh no.
What's the matter, Jared?
We're running out of natural resources. It's scary stuff.
No, we're not. Here, I'll show you. We hear all the time about how we are running out of natural resources and that we need to conserve. But is this really the case? Let's examine the concept of resource scarcity. All natural resources are scarce. They are less easy to get than we would like them to be. The scarcity of a resource increases when its demand goes up faster than its supply. As we use more of the resource, the thinking goes, its remaining supply decreases even while demand may be increasing. This results in rising scarcity. But we know from economics that price is related to supply and demand in the same way. So we can think of price as a measure of scarcity. As a resource becomes more scarce, its price will increase. So is this what happens? Do resources increase in price the more we use them? Actually, no, they don't. Let's look at copper as an example. Here's the long-term trend in the price of copper in constant, or inflation-adjusted dollars. If copper were really getting more scarce, the price would be rising over time. But we see here that the trend in copper prices over the last century is just the opposite. How can this be? Why is the price of copper as well as other resources going down and not up? We'll examine 4 reasons why this happens. Estimated reserves, technology, substitution, and recycling. First, let's look at estimated reserves. One of the common problems is mistaking known reserves for the actual amount of a resource left on the planet. Companies that mine copper only explore for more when they're running low in their existing mines. So the known reserves of copper are a constantly changing number that might on average only represent a 20 years supply at current consumption rates. This is very different from the amount of remaining copper in the planet. We see from this chart that in 1990 we had 5.5 times the copper reserves that we had in 1950. Technology. The technology of resource discovery and extraction is constantly competing with exhaustion or the depletion of a known source of copper. Copper was once mined by men with picks and shovels. Today we mine copper with huge earth-moving machines and sophisticated extraction techniques. Copper that was considered unrecoverable only a couple of decades ago might be being mined today. Substitution. Substitution occurs when other materials are used to create the products that copper is used in. Common uses for copper include pipes, wire and coins. But now we make pipes out of PVC, coins can be made from other metals such as the zinc that makes up 98% of a penny, and copper is being replaced with fiber optic cable made from sand. Finally, recycling. Copper is not destroyed when it's used for these products. Copper can be reclaimed from recycling efforts and used again in other products currently more suited to its qualities. Instead of thinking of copper as a finite supply or an exhaustible resource, it's more accurate to think of copper supply as in constant circulation in ever-growing amounts as technology improvements enable us to extract more and more from our Earth. This description only scratches the surface of the complexity underlying a single resource. Copper exists in many grades of quality. The largest store of copper on the planet is probably the oceans where it resides dissolved in seawater. Currently, the availability of copper from cheaper sources makes this copper prohibitively expensive to extract. But periodic rises in scarcity and associated rising prices give investors and businesses incentive to try and find new ways to retrieve a resource. If copper were ever to become scarce enough, people would begin bending their efforts to creating ways to extract this copper. Would they be successful? Well, we always have been in the past. Do you feel better now?
We were still going to run out. I'm depressed. And you just want to rape the earth.